everyone, my name is Berlin. I'm a Singaporean living in Australia, and I have been a private pilot for the past 1.5 to 2 years or so, just flying around Australia. In those times, I've progressed from getting what we call a recreational pilot's license to a private pilot's license, done quite a bit of flying within Australia. So I have also owned an aircraft in Australia, a beach retail Bonanza, and with that I've been cruising around the country. So flying is one of those things that they say is a virus, and once you've got it, it doesn't leave you, essentially. I really enjoy flying. Each time I fly, it's a liberating kind of experience. The moment that you take off, it just feels like you're really in another world. And that being said, it's always a very enjoyable experience. Nothing terrible has happened to me or anything like that, but we all know that flying could be a risky thing to do sometimes, because weather changes on us, things that we don't expect to actually happen. So why I wanted to get my instrument rating is to make myself a safer pilot. So with that goal in mind, I kind of sought out different providers for instrument rating, and this is how I came about to meet Gamma. So I first met Gamma in December last year, and we went through after a lot of email exchanges and things like that, we finally met up and did some ground training. So there's a lot of theory work to cover. The theory itself wasn't the difficult part, but Gamma actually has a simulator where that was my first ever attempt and experience with what instrument flying is all about. And it is very different from visual flying, from our VFR flying. Essentially, you're just relying on the instruments, and you're not relying on the outside environment. And it takes a bit of getting used to, I would say. It's not very easy, let's put it this way, but it's not difficult as well. You just need a process, a period of time to learn how to do it. And as with any skill, the more you do it, the more you practice, the better you get at it. You need instructors along the way to give you guidance, to teach you, and that makes the learning process easier and faster. So I am actually on this accelerated program. So I have completed 10 days of instrument training in Van Nuys, California, Los Angeles, California. So it was not exactly difficult. Like I would not have described it as difficult. You would have to put in certain hours. You need commitment, you need desire, and you need to know why you're doing it and actually really want it, because it's not for everybody. And we all know that some people just take more time to get a hang of things, especially when you're not as motivated. You tend not to work as hard. So these 10 days, you would actually have to work pretty hard. You're looking at flying 40 hours in 10 days in order to meet the requirement. So in order to meet the legal requirement, that is. But it's actually a very enjoyable process, I would say. So when we come over to United States for this training, it is actually a greater aviation experience. So throughout this period of time, is that you meet your instructors, you meet pilots, you meet friends along the way. So it's not just your instructor you meet other pilots on the airfield as well. You talk to them, you fly to different places, and you meet more people. And you get a lot of exposure to how flying is like in America. So there's a lot of freedom that you get, flying around in the US, and the aviation community is very, very welcoming to people, and it's a really, it's a very pleasant experience. These 10 days, I would not have described it as, stressful or anything negative. It is one of those things that you need to be motivated, and you push yourself. Your instructor is there to guide you. You trust your instructor, and you'll get to the end point. So personally, I've enjoyed it 100%, and I'll recommend this to anyone who actually wants to, especially what I'm doing, the instrument rating, for any pilot, a private pilot, who wants to become a safer pilot, a more competent pilot. You know, this is probably for you, because throughout the training, I've noticed that I've become a better pilot just in my flying skills as well. So you learn to watch for your instruments better. That's the whole purpose. So how does it translate to flying? You become more stable in your flying. You don't rock around as much. You are at the same height that you want to be, and you are in control. It makes you safer because, you know, if you run into not so pleasant weather, you're not scared. You know, it takes away that fear, and you actually would be able to get yourself safe, you know, and calm down. And that's what we all want to do, because it's actually what aviation is all about, for me at least, to have fun, enjoy it, and be safe. And as for anyone who is aspiring to become a pilot, it's not that difficult. You know, you need good instructors, you need desire to want to do it, and with all the resources combined, you could be a pilot too. And that goes out to all the girls.